Welcome! In this video we explain the grain size theory of Ziegler and Goswami, which can be used to apply different strategies for reading acquisition, depending on the language characteristics and spelling system of the language. There are two important language characteristics to be taken into account in the grain size theory: the grapheme-phoneme consistency and the syllabus structure. But first we will explain these characteristics. Let's start with the grapheme-phoneme consistency. What is the difference between phonemes and graphemes? When we talk about phonemes, we refer to the speech sound of a language. It is the smallest unit of a sound that can distinguish one word from another. When these units of sounds are written down in the form of letters, we refer to a grapheme. So a grapheme is a letter or group of letters that represent a single phoneme, like you can see in this image. The grapheme-phoneme consistency is the degree of correspondence between the graphemes or letters and the phonemes or sounds. A high grapheme-phoneme consistency means that there is a one-to-one relationship between the letters and sounds. The A, for example, is pronounced as A. Languages with a high grapheme-phoneme consistency are called transparent languages. Examples of languages with a consistent spelling system are Spanish, Turkish, and Hindi. In contrast, a low grapheme-phoneme consistency means that there is not a direct relationship between the letters and sounds. In this case, the letter A can be pronounced in different ways, like hat, cake, once, again, or aria. Languages with a low grapheme-phoneme consistency are called opaque languages. Examples of languages with an inconsistent spelling system are English, Chinese, and French. A syllable is a unit of one or more sounds, and the syllable structure consists of a vowel in combination with a consonant or group of consonants. There are languages with a simple syllable structure with limited consonant-vowel combination, like Spanish, has only a simple syllable structure that is visible in the word mariposa. Other languages have a more complex syllable structure, like English, that is evident in the word strength, for example. For more information about the syllabus structure, see the video about syllabus structures. In order to learn to read, it is important to be able to decode words into smaller units or grain sizes. For languages with a high grapheme-phoneme consistency and a simple syllabus structure, it is convenient to decode the words into small grain sizes, like phonemes, for example, the G of gato. In contrast, for languages with a low grapheme-phoneme consistency and a complex syllable structure, it is necessary to decode the words into larger grain sizes and to focus on the regularities, for example, eit of flight and ache of cake. When you decode words into large grain sizes, it is important to focus on the regularities. For example, you can look at the rhyme, like eit, ache, and ult, or you can take grapheme clusters like a in awesome, awful, straw. Or you have to look at whole words like honor, yad, muscle. Languages with a shallow orthographic depth that require small grain size are Spanish and Italian, for example. On the other hand, languages with a deep orthographic depth that require a large grain size are, for example, English and French. The strategies for reading acquisitions for new arrived migrant students are different from the reading strategies for native speakers. First, it is important to be aware of the syllabus structure and the grapheme-phoneme consistency of the school language. Then, you also have to be aware of these characteristics of the native language of the students. When you are aware of the similarities and/or differences, it is possible to select the most suitable grain size for reading instruction, and you can start with a phonological awareness training. When teaching reading acquisitions to students with a different mother tongue, it is important to take into account the grain size vary. For more information, check the section about literacy at the EDINA webpage. Thank you for listening.